Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, and today we're going to get into some more Ultra League Go Battle League battles. Alright, I got a little showcase for you guys. Cool trainer Sean, you've seen him on my channel recently. He showcased Mantine in Great League, but he's come through with another set of battles where he's showcasing Heracross as a closer in some Ultra League battles. So, let's go through some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses. Let's watch through his battles. This team consists of a Charizard lead with Giratina Altered in the back and Heracross also in the back. So, I know Heracross is a regional, so getting access to it isn't the easiest thing, but it's always nice to see a little bit of spice. Hey, that rhymes. In Ultra League Go Battle League battles, especially because I feel like this season around, the meta is so much stronger than it has been in previous seasons, so I definitely wanted to at least, showcase you at least one unique Mon here. I mean, it's pretty unique. Charizard's pretty unique too. Giratina Altered, unfortunately, super meta, but you can only get so far away from the meta, especially if you even want to try one spice pick. It's almost always got to be paired with at least one meta pick in order for it to compete. Somebody's got a team of 3 that they want to showcase that has no meta picks on it, and you're being successful at a pretty high rating. Hit me on Twitter if you ever want your team showcase, your battle showcase. Twitter is where to find me. Slide my DMs and we'll talk. Alright, now I'm being weird about it. Anyhow, let's jump into the showcase and talk about these battles. So his first battle, he had Charizard on a Granbull lead, but right now I think Charizard's done for, but his opponent does have a 2 shield to 1 shield advantage on him, and his opponent's Giratina Altered just took down his Charizard. But he can bring in his own Giratina Altered to kind of deal with the opposing one, but the opposing one does have some energy. He's throwing a charge move now. Now I'm curious to find out what quick move Sean's using on his Giratina Altered. He seems to be using Dragon Breath. It seemed like that. It seems like his opponent's using Shadow Claw. It's kind of hard when they're mixed together, but one of them's using one quick move, the other one's using the other quick move, and it would make sense that his opponent's using the other quick move just because of how quickly the energy is being charged up. His opponent throws in a Shift Tree, and that was a mistake because Sean's got a Heracross in the back that's going to resist every charge move Shift Tree throws, and I'm pretty confident in that situation because both are resisted. You want to go for a Leaf Blade when you're the Shift Tree. But then on top of that, he doesn't have to shield anything, and he can just counter down because Shift Tree is a dark type, so these counters are going to deal super effective damage, and he'll have a bunch of energy. Unfortunately though, that energy is just going to get dumped on the Giratina Altered, but the Giratina Altered is going to have to shield because it literally has no health left. So his opponent has a 2 shield to 1 shield advantage, but if his Giratina Altered is running Dragon Breath, the game is definitely GG. Even if his Giratina Altered is running Shadow Claw, he's pretty much got this one in the bag at this point. Yeah, honestly, I don't blame him. I was going to say I would just go for the close combat because the Heracross is going to die, and honestly, lowering your defense is better in this situation, so the opposing Giratina Altered can't farm up more energy. It was getting the shield either way, and now his opponent took down his Heracross, and his Giratina Altered is going to come in, and he still has a shield, but I'm pretty sure that Giratina Altered got to doing some farming, so it's going to be a little bit of a race to get to this next one, but he will survive another Dragon Claw. So that's the important part. His opponent did beat him to the Dragon Claw, but he will survive this, and he will be able to get to his Dragon Claw, or just Dragon Breath the opposing Giratina Altered down to take the first match of this set. So Heracross came in clutch, completely walled that Shift Tree, and allowed him to save that extra shield while being at that shield disadvantage. So I like it so far. Honestly, last season and in preseason, I tried to use Heracross a lot. I think I actually made a video using Heracross too, like literally me using it. And I liked it in the past because, well, now that Cresselia's like more popular, it's harder to get away with some of the fighting types, and it deals counter and close combat, so it really does rely on those fighting moves. But it does have Mega Horn to kind of like one-shot at Cresselia in that closing situation. I'm not saying it would actually one-shot the Cresselia. Cresselia is way too tanky to get one-shot by like literally anything. But in like a no-shield situation, the Mega Horn will deal a lot of damage. But I liked it in the past other seasons because of the fact that like Registeel was just so popular and Swampert were so popular, and then its really only meta weakness was Giratina Altered, but now it has a meta weakness of Cresselia, which makes it a little bit tougher to try and squeeze into your team. But I would use it as a lead, so I really like that he's trying it out as a closer. Either way, getting into this next match, he's got his Giratina Altered on opposing Registeel, and I think this is how the lead started off, and this is actually a positive matchup for the Giratina Altered if his opponent, again, I think I've gone over this a little bit, but either doesn't know any better and he can land the first 2 Shadow Sneaks. So as much as Shadow Sneak's a super weak move, and Registeel's, because of how tanky they are, they're not going to want to shield something as weak as Shadow Sneak, by not shielding both of them that went through, it actually allows the Giratina Altered to win out this matchup. Now, that Registeel is best buddied, and I feel like I haven't been seeing a lot of best buddied Registeels. I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying attention to the button. I'm too distracted at being pissed off because I don't have my own Registeel for Ultra League, but Anyhow, on the side note, I'm pretty confident though his Giratina Altered would still win this, but he decided to pull off a nice little sack swap there. This is definitely a Flash Cannon. Charizard resists both charge moves from Registeel, and Charizard's Registeel is like one of its biggest counters. Oh, okay, the leads were different. Okay, because this Giratina Altered definitely lost some health. So I didn't know how the leads played out because I was too busy talking about my past experiences with Heracross. I apologize. But either way, now he's got the Charizard on the Giratina Altered, which isn't that great for him. It seems like this Giratina Altered is also running Shadow Claw. It's crazy. I've been running Obstagoon so much recently. You know how many Shadow Claw Giratinas I've been seeing? Not too many. So I find that fascinating. But yeah, this Giratina Altered is definitely running Shadow Claw, and it's getting to the charge moves quicker. So I guess for Charizard, it's a poor situation either way, no matter what the quick move is, because these Dragon Claws are being spammed, and now he's going to have to come back in with his Giratina Altered to Dragon Breath and use a Dragon Claw on the opposing one. So that's his plan here. He's going for the first Dragon Claw. This won't take it out. This might get a shield. Does not get a shield. So now he can't commit to a farm down, but he's most likely going to have to... Oh, okay, no, the opposing Giratina didn't get to another Dragon Claw. So he was able to commit to that farm down. That's pretty important there, not having to use that last shield. Going to wait to see what his opponent decides to bring back in. And his opponent has a Poliwrath. Interesting. So Heracross actually has a pretty positive matchup against his opponent's last two Pokemon. Now, this Giratina Altered will soften up this Poliwrath, which is important, and his opponent doesn't know that he has a Heracross in the back. But Heracross, because it's a bug type, resists other fighting type moves, so when Heracross goes up against a Poliwrath, the Poliwrath's going to need to go for Ice Punches, which doesn't get stabbed, which don't get stabbed, and are just weaker moves than Dynamic Punch is. My S's in plural and my grammar is way off in that entire sentence. I apologize. Either way, opponent's Poliwrath takes down his Giratina Altered, but now he can bring in his own Heracross, and honestly, I don't think I would shield any of these Ice Punches just in case the Registeel is able to get to a Flash Cannon. See how much it does there? It does about quarter health. You could definitely tank like 2 more. And the plan, I wouldn't have done it that way. You want to always charge up 2 close combats before you throw, because of the fact that close combat's going to debuff the defense. Now, the logic, which I can understand why he might have gone for it so quickly, is because Poliwrath and Registeel's quick moves are doing like, I don't want to say 0 damage. They're doing very minimal damage to the Heracross, but the problem is you see how much more that Ice Punch ends up doing. So I would have charged up both of them before throwing a single one, and then obviously taken like 2 Ice Punches and thrown 2 of them when 2 of them were charged up. Either way, this is going to work out nicely for him. Luckily, his defense wasn't lowered enough where that Ice Punch did way too much damage. This close combat will definitely take out the Registeel. The Poliwrath swapped out, so once it comes in, it'll get countered down. Because again, the Mud Shots and the Lock-Ons from Registeel really don't do much. So I do consider that a mistake, but it didn't come back to bite him because of the quick move damages being so weak from those 2 Pokemon. Alright, getting into this third match, he's going up against Sunny Punch 777. Sorry, I don't always say the names of the opponents. Sometimes I'm getting caught up in talking about other stuff, but either way, when I do get the chance, I will definitely try to say the names of the opponents as we see them. He's got a nice lead here, Charizard on Registeel. His opponent swaps to a Giratina Altered. You got to go quickly to that swap into your own Giratina Altered, but at the same time, he does have 2 counters for Registeel. So even if he loses switch advantage because his opponent is also running Dragon Breath and has a slight energy advantage on his Giratina Altered, he does have 2 Pokemon in the back that, even without switch advantage, will deal super solid damage to that Registeel. So if you really feel like you're running into a bunch of Registeels, and it seems like this is at least the second out of these 3 matches, I don't remember, again, because we all know how my memory works, but if you feel like you're seeing a lot of Registeels right off the bat, I feel like I would recommend this team. 2 counters to it. Honestly, even Giratina Altered counters it to an extent, so you really have 3 counters on this team. You definitely have to watch out for other things, obviously, when you use a team that's dealing so well against Registeel, it's going to have holes elsewhere. And as we keep on watching these battles, we'll notice them, we'll go through them. Either way, we watch this matchup play out. His opponent is committing to getting switch advantage back, so he gave the extra shield. He gets Dragon Breath down, but it's not the end of the world. He can bring Charizard back in here. You definitely don't want to bring in Heracross. Counters are going to be double resisted. And then you're going to have to throw a Mega Horn, which would take a while to get to, and that's still also resisted. So Charizard's definitely the play here. He's going to get Dragon Clawed. It's only neutral. Doesn't do that much, and he can overfarm a bit and then go for a Dragon Claw to take down the opposing Giratina Altered. Now, the positive here is he got, all the time. I'm sorry, you know what it is? You know, Bang, if you want to give me a little sponsorship, I drink your drinks all the time. It's the reason why I'm so high energy all the time. But anyhow, I'm just saying, everybody watches that works for Bang. Twitter DMs. Back to this match. He got his opponent's shields, and now Charizard could run Reckless with these Blast Burns, and his Heracross could come in and essentially take out the rest of this Cresselia's health with the Mega Horn. So he's sitting in a really good spot. I would not shield this. Okay, he shielded it. His opponent's running Grass Knot, which is interesting. I would not have shielded that because you can let Charizard go down. Cresselia's running Psycho Cut, so as much as Cresselia probably would have gotten to another charge move, he could have shielded that charge move with his Heracross, thrown the Mega Horn at the Cresselia, taken out its remaining health, and then essentially beat in the Registeel. But he uses the Charizard to beat the Cresselia. So I guess that works itself out either way. So his opponent sees the Heracross, notices that Sean has 2 counters for his Registeel, and decides to give up. I really don't blame him. If you're running a Registeel, you definitely don't want to see this team. So that's already a nice 3-0 set for him. And I guess back to my other point, I guess I kind of explained it pretty well anyway. It still worked out for him in this match, but what he could have done was, if the Cresselia took down his Charizard, pretty much all the Cresselia's health would have, energy would have been gone, and he could have countered his way up to a Mega Horn, and if the Cresselia threw a charge move, which it most likely would have thrown a Moonblast, could have shielded that and still gotten the Mega Horn off and taken out the Cresselia, and then essentially taken out the Registeel. But then again, if he goes for the Mega Horn and his opponent pulls a swap into the Mega Horn with the Registeel, that's still going to cause him some issues. So this definitely worked out better. So, what do I know? Anyhow, this match has got Charizard on Charizard lead here. And this one, I don't really know. I guess that's got to be the play, go straight Dragon Claw, even though they don't get stabbed. But the Blast Burns are resisted, so maybe you do want to land the Blast Burn. So he's going for the Blast Burn. Honestly, just considering how strong of a move Blast Burn is compared to Dragon Claw, as much as Dragon Claw is less energy, Blast Burn resistance is probably more energy efficient, but unfortunately his opponent shielded that Blast Burn, so that's not positive. You definitely need to land it in order to win out this lead situation the way it's being played out. His opponent's going straight Dragon Claw. It's definitely a safe way to go, especially because he was able to shield that Blast Burn, but now he's going for a second Blast Burn, and I don't think it's going to take out the Charizard at this health, but it will get it in the red and get it in Fire Spin range. But his opponent double shields. Fascinating. It's very risky. So at this point, if I was Sean, I would let the Charizard go down. That's what he's doing. You could bring in the Giratina Alter pretty comfortably and essentially finish off the Charizard. The Charizard will get like 1 or 2 Dragon Claws off, but now he has both of his opponent's shields and Heracross, who can deal super high damage in those kinds of situations. So that Charizard really did a good job. That was one thing he mentioned to me when he sent me this team. He uses Charizard essentially to like get shields, and in this set, it's worked really well, and then it lets his Heracross kind of run wild in the back. Because I guess Fire Spin does charge quick moves, charge moves pretty quickly, especially when they're cheap like Dragon Claw. And if you go for Blast Burn, you almost want to always, want to shield the Blast Burn even when it's resisted because it does a lot of damage. Either way, he pulls a nice swap to catch this Night Slash, and his opponent's not in a good situation because his Heracross is going to slaughter Obstagoon. I love Obstagoon, but when it sees another fighter, it has no chance there. It needs to get out. It's dark and normal. It's taking double super effective damage from every counter or any close combat from the Heracross. But now his opponent counters his Heracross with a Venusaur. So this is not looking very good for his opponent. So right now he can overcharge. I probably would overcharge a little bit more. He could tank a resistant Frenzy Plant and even a Sludge Bomb, which would be neutral. He could tank it. It would get the Heracross pretty low, but that Mega Horn does a lot of damage, so he's going to have to overcharge here either way. He's going to try and commit to the counter down. Oof! That Venusaur must have just gotten to the Sludge Bomb, because that was super close, and he's making opponents not rage quit. He's making opponents quit, because honestly, in those situations, the opponents aren't mad. Nothing bad happened there. It's just a very unfortunate matchup for his opponent to end the match. Oh, this is the 5th match. So yeah, those are very unfortunate situations for his opponent. So they just knew, save the time. It wasn't a rage quit, please. Don't attack me in the comment section. I know the difference. I apologize for saying it like that. Either way, he's got a very nice lead here in this 5th match. As I say, he's got Charizard on Articuno. This Blast Burn would 100% one-shot the Articuno. So his opponent's going to definitely need to shield here. So we're going to see what his opponent decides to do. They decide to go for the shield. His opponent's on the charge move, and honestly, if I was the Articuno in this situation, I probably would just get out, because even if you lower the attack with this... Oh, he goes for the Ancient Power! Ooh, that's tough. I was going to say, even if you lower the attack with a neutral Icy Winds, a Blast Burn's still going to take out the Articuno, but he caught him off guard, because a lot of Articunos are running Hurricane now because of the fact that Ancient Power got debuffed. So the fact that Articuno was running Ancient Power is pretty unfortunate for him, especially because his other two Pokemon in the back don't exactly counter the Articuno too well. Luckily, it's in the red, but now his Heracross's attack has been debuffed. If I was him, yeah, he doesn't have a choice. He has to commit to the counter down in this situation, so that's what he's going to do, but now his Heracross is at half health. So that's very unfortunate. His opponent brings in a Swampert, though, and this situation's looking a lot better. You know what this kind of tells me? I'm going to take a wild guess. He brought in a Swampert because he has a Registeel in the back. So let's find out, because I haven't watched these matches ahead of time. Either way, he goes for the Hydro Cannon. Again, he's playing it better this time. He's charging up 2 close combats. And if you notice... Ooh, interesting. Nice swap. I like it. Figure out what the third Pokemon is. He could have gotten away, though, with shielding that, throwing both close combats, and then countering it down and finding out what the last Pokemon is. Registeel. What did I say? What did I say? I know. It's really predictable. There's like 4 Metamons. I know. Nothing to be proud of. Anyhow, so he's still looking pretty good, though, because Giratina Altered, especially with a little bit of energy, still has a positive matchup against a Registeel, and when the switch timer comes up, he can bring his Heracross back in, essentially, to take care of the Registeel. One thing I want to talk about, if you notice, the energy mechanics for the charge moves on screen have been updated, and it lets you know now, without you having to count yourself, how much energy you have filled up. Like, I'm not explaining this well at all, but it lets you know how much energy you've charged up and built up with your quick moves, and you can tell by the way the circle fills up, and then once it's full, it'll fill up more with like another color over it. So you can kind of tell, like, oh, I have 2 charge moves ready, awesome. So you don't have to worry about counting anymore, but keep in mind there is still 100 energy limit, which means you can keep on, like, his Heracross is back in and had 2 close combats. If he kept on countering, you would hit a peak in energy, and you're going to notice it's not going to continue to go up anymore. So you got to keep that in mind. There is still a limit, even though you can see yourself getting more energy and getting more than 1 charge move ready in a PvP match. Either way, he's throwing back-to-back close combats, exactly how I would do it here. And this match is pretty much wrapped up. He took out the Registeel. The next close combat's going to take out the Swampert. The Swampert can go for the Hydro Cannon, but he has a shield, so the Swampert was going to need 2 Hydro Cannons to pull this off. He was not going to Mud Shot down the Heracross, because Mud Shot, again, like we said, not a quick move that does a lot of damage, and he goes 5-0 in the set, and the Heracross really showcases its strengths and how you want to use it. It kicked butt. Also, I just checked out his rating. Yo, congrats, Sean. He actually hit rank 9 with this set, with this team. So let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about Heracross as a closer. And also, if you have a team that you want me to shoutcast or showcase on my channel, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. We're actually like inching towards 2,000 subscribers, which, like, I can't believe. And all the love and support I've been getting throughout all these videos, guys, it means a lot to me, especially because this month of June has been really busy for me. I still want to get you guys videos. Actually, we might be noticing a little improvement to the channel within the next week or so. I'm not going to spoil any details about that. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in the next video.